All right, let's start chapter 7 on limits here. So let's introduce what a limit is by this. This is a neat little activity here. So I can't necessarily show you this, but I can kind of help you understand it. It'd be cool to do on your own. So today we're going to introduce the concept of a limit using geometry, right? So do it in a geometric context. You will start by simply folding angles, right? So here's what you need, right? And so they say use adding machine paper. If you don't know what that is, you just need like a strip of paper that's about 30 inches long, okay? And so what you're going to do is choose an angle, right? And you're going to fold this paper, right? And so it doesn't matter what they do, what angle they choose, but they choose an angle and then they fold the paper on that angle. So what you can see here, right, and I don't know if I could draw this, but like you have this adding machine paper, right, and you make a fold, right, and so there's a fold there that looks kind of like that, right, and then you'll take the top left, right, so you're going to take this top left corner and you're going to fold it down so that it folds right on that crease. Okay, so when that happens, right, and you unfold it, there's going to be another crease made. There's going to be something like this right here. There's going to be another crease made. Okay? And they tell you to keep doing this, right, all the way out. So then you would take the next bottom left, fold it up along this crease, right? And it's going to make another crease here. Right? Again, then you go top down, it'll make another crease. Right, and you're going to eventually get these triangles, right? So what happens here is you're actually bisecting the angle, okay? So you're bisecting this big angle that you just created, then bisecting this one, then this one, right? And it keeps happening over and over again, okay? Well, what happens here, so let's just say this first angle we chose was 30 degrees. Well, then this big angle here is 150 degrees. Okay? So if it's 150 degrees, trying to make this a little cleaner, right? If it's 150 degrees and we bisect it, meaning we cut it in half, right? That's 75 degrees. So we now have 75, 75, right? Okay, so now what we should know is we can then figure out what this angle is, right? Okay, and so what happens here is this angle, right? We now have a triangle, right? So 30 and 75 make 105. Right, so we know this is also a 75-degree angle. Okay, well, we now take that big angle, which was 150. Sorry, excuse me. Didn't do that right. Okay, if this is 75 degrees, then we now know this big angle here is 105 degrees. Okay, 180 degree straight line, right? So 105. So we now have 105 big angle. We're going to bisect that one. So that would be 52.5 degrees. So we went from 75 to 52.5, right? So again, what happens, right? We have this 52.5 degrees, and then we have what's left over here, right? Well, what's left, right, is 126.5 degrees. Okay? So we now have 126.5. We're going to cut that in half. So we cut that in half. we get 63.25 degrees. Okay? And here's what's going to keep happening. Okay? As you keep doing this, you're going to start approaching a number. Okay? So you're going to see this angle started at 75. Well, actually, I think the first angle we started at was 30, right? So now we're all the way to 63.5, right? So the next angle would be 116.75, right? We're going to cut that in half. We'll get 58.375. Okay, then the big angle will be 625. We'll cut that in half. We'll get 60.8125, right? We should see we're getting closer and closer to approaching 60 degrees. Notice the verbiage there of approaching. So we're approaching an equilateral triangle. Okay, and so that's the idea. So this is really cool. And I would like for you to go through this lesson, do it yourself, actually answer these questions, and understand that we will never actually get to 60. That's a key, right? So it says right here, will the exact measure ever be 60? The answer is no, but we'll get really close. We will approach it. And that's the whole point of understanding a limit, or the basic understanding of a limit, is what are we approaching? Is it predictable? And so that's kind of our intro. That's our 711 intro into limits.